Welcome to Two Guys.
A girl.
and an MBA.
So it's the elephant in the room. We're all MBAs. So let's talk about what's the value of an MBA today. And for the viewers out there listening, new to the channel, we all three went through the Boston U OMBA program, which was one of the most innovative, like one of the first in the space. And now, as Elena said, rising up the ranks of best MBAs to be offered. What was that?
I think it's like 34th place. So it's +2 or +3 something. So it's good because it means it's developing, updating, and became better and better. Even it was OMBA 4. So it was like a 4 group who's like graduated from this online program. But I think it's improved because they collect our feedback constantly. And for the next month, we can see the changes. Not the Questrop School doesn't wait till the end of the program. They provide these changes immediately.
Yeah,
and
sometimes a little too fast, week to week. It was like,
but anyway,
slow down, guys.
Works. It works because it's like, okay, feedback, collect, changes. It works, doesn't work, roll back. So it's like a diamond cycle. When you plan something, run, collect feedback, change it, and again run. So, and as we see, it works. And this is it, diploma on the wall.
There you go.
Up yet.
We were the early adopters.
How I look at, like, I run my own companies, and I took it because I remember going into meetings, and if there was an MBA there, everybody made you know there was an MBA there. And even that person who's an MBA, they let you know because they would throw out some stupid concept, even though they had no concept of maybe like running a business. And I would feel like, wow, I just got knocked off my block
Your
a little bit.
keister.
Yeah. So I said, okay, let me see what this is about. And I think for me, how I relate to it, it's like learning CPR. You're only going to use it in an emergency. And I gave you guys a story about when I was trying to confirm a business with the largest company on planet Earth, and they gave me their contract. It just didn't seem right. So I ran all these MBA things, regression analysis, like predicted the future price of minimum wage, and I ran the enterprise value of this portion of the business. And when I looked at the numbers, it took away all the emotion, and I realized this was a bad deal. And I asked them to like kind of relook at their contract. They declined. And 1 week before starting, I declined. And, it was a substantial contract. It was over $1 million+. And I said no, because if the numbers are right, which is better than guessing, I'll be bankrupt. So I'm out. So yeah, it did work. It was like life-saving, like CPR. It was great.
Are you comfortable revealing the identity of said company?
Listen, I don't want to talk about fruit, because if I start talking about fruit, I was fascinating. It was like, yeah, come on down. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. They've been ghosting me for 2 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember I was in the course with you when that happened, when you turned it down, and we were doing a project on Apple when you turned the project
Apple.
contract down.
Oh, no.
Beep,
Oh no,
beep.
oh no, I gave it away. Oh no.
Yes, I had to sign something, but anyway, I guess it's not binding anymore.
Okay.
I'm not doing business with them, so it's fine. Yeah.
Should I edit that out? Or?
Oh, come on. I've already kicked off YouTube so many times. Let's see if Apple can cross-platform and kick me off of Google or YouTube. Let's see if it happens. Let's see. Probably not.
Yeah.
They don't own me.
So back to the main topic of what do you think of an MBA today is the value that you've seen in the marketplace? I've seen mixed results. I've seen it opens doors, and as you say, it's kind of a trump card. That you could pull out in case of, it's interesting, your analogy, use in case of emergency, break the glass, but like even today, an elevator, just elevator talk, if you impress, which having the MBA gives you the skills to impress, and I did in this particular situation, and everyone starts asking you questions and, oh yeah, I have an MBA. Now they think of you differently. All of a sudden, the little light bulb goes off. It's still a great brand, even though it's funny, we talk about supply and demand in Econ 101. There's like millions of MBAs in the world, and yet it's still such a valued brand. Whereas I'm taking this one course, a CMA, there's like 100,000 only, and they command high salaries, and it's more exclusive than a MBA. And these were some of the other classmates in the CMA class with me, and like they looked at me like I was a god for a second, and it's like, well, I guess I was just smashing the TVM problems, and they couldn't. But like that, I got a lot of that from the MBA. But like uh, in other instances, I've seen that it doesn't open as many doors, like not getting callbacks from places I definitely should have got callback. I think it actually turned some employers off. It was like I was asking the GPT about it. It was like that employer probably thought you wouldn't stick around because they saw the credential and they thought, well, he'll be only around for a year or two. It won't last. He'll find till he finds some other better opportunity. Whereas before, when I just had a BA in English,
Hmm.
they perceive you as having more longevity, more staying power. So I think I think I've seen other things of some people that have PhD and MBA. They don't often advertise those things. They'll put the PhD at the top and omit the MBA for certain roles, and vice versa for other roles. If they're going after more of a business corporate thing, they'll omit the PhD so as not to scare off the employer or the receiving party. So it's a double-edged sword, but it's good to be too qualified, I guess.
Agree with you. It's better to have this knowledge and experience than don't have. For my personal experience, I am as a project manager, and one day I think, okay, I need to know more, not about the project or program, or a few projects in this program, but I need to understand the whole picture, how business works. Even if I don't calculate revenue, net income, everything every day, but now I see the dashboard, and now I'm in the product company, and I see some dashboard when we experiment with some changes in the product. I can understand, oh, this is plus, this is minus. Now, and even when I hear some talks, business talks, I know what it's about. Anyway, it could be not only about money, it's also about social media listening we did.
Yeah.
And our marketing department talking about it. So, okay, we made some research, we come back with some results, we go through this Instagram, Facebook, tweets, blah, 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 and see, collect. I know what you mean. I know what you did. and
I did,
and fly on the wall even. Remember, say,
oh yeah, fly on the wall. Oh my God, yeah.
it really exists, and it works in a real adult world of business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know it.
I think the problem, the challenge to be an MBA is that it for someone it seems like a generalist type of degree. A specialist is like the CMA, and it's my daughter's going to school right now, and she's at Penn, and everybody there is going to be a consultant. So she asks me, "What does that mean?" And I'm like, "I have no idea. What are you consulting in?" But it's one of those generalists. It's like if you see a resume, I'm a consultant. I'm thinking, consult with what? Or in my business, like I'm an entrepreneur. That could run from living in my mom's basement eating Cheetos to like Elon Musk. What does that mean? You're an entrepreneur. So I never say I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a consultant. You got to be specific because I think everybody's listening for values. Okay,
Yeah.
you got that. But what did you specialize in your MBA? What can you give me from all that? Like we covered a lot of stuff, a massive amount of stuff, and I think that's the problem with language. Like, what do you guys actually do? What's an MBA do?
It's interesting you mentioned language because during the program, I asked you this question and why did you do it? And you said something about language and
Yes,
vocabulary, which resonated with me, stuck with me, this is the
right.
English major, that you wanted to be playing the same game in the room and that people would say certain terms. And even Elena was alluding to this with social
Yep.
media listening and fly on the wall. And when you're in the meeting and it's like these people had access to different vocabulary and different terminology that it's like, where did you get that? Like, even when I read business articles in finance and in the news following stocks, before the MBA, I read them a certain way. And afterward, I was, oh, okay, I get it. I understand that term. I understand that big picture concept. And like, I think that is one of the pitfalls of the degree too, though, that it does cover so much breadth from psychology to economics to finance to teamwork and everything else. you know, marketing, statistics, you know, very different disciplines, you
Yeah.
know. It can be generalist, but I'd say more about that, the common language of the MBA. I think that is, yeah.
You know, there's a common language. If you look at people who are super successful, they use a whole bunch of words that are successful people words. And
Yeah.
I always I always think that you are what you say, right? So if you speak in a defeatist way, you can measure your success based on the words you're using. So
Yeah.
it's just a higher level. But the MBA, yeah, the language drives a certain type of behavior. Of business or marketing, and you've got to understand the language of marketing. You've got to, if you want to be a great marketer, you got to understand the language of finance. Like you're doing finance at a deep level, and sometimes you throw out some terms. I'm like, covered call option. I don't know what the heck he's talking about. In the money, out of the money. But if you don't have that language before you actually do the behavior, you're going to be in big trouble, and that's why you lose money, right? You got to understand it. So I think back to the MBA, yeah, people would say things and I would like, what? I mean, then I try to figure out what they're saying on my own. And um, that's kind of how they measure your power in rooms. Like, do you understand what I just said? If you watch some of these sportscasters, I think they have like a word of the day and they throw it out there and they're and then you're
Definitely.
like, how did that guy come up with that word? I don't even know what the hell he just said. It's like, oh wow, okay, guy must be smart. It's like a language used to flex, and I think that's what I found it when I was in rooms where I didn't understand what they're saying, and it showed up. It's like, what?
Even concepts used to flex, like fine distinctions that you learn, like, oh, the difference between the buyers of a product and service or the difference and the users. Okay, the kids are the users of the toy, but
Mm-hmm.
it's really the
Buyers as the
parents buying
parents.
it. Yeah. So,
Good, good,
Right,
good.
right, right. Yes.
Yeah.
you know,
And I can say it's not, it's also about way of thinking. And in our
yeah.
BU MBA program, they encourage us to think what is for you here. Even if you're not an entrepreneur or an owner of the business, you as a part of the team, what is for you here, how you could apply it. And I like that in each model, for instance, digitalization.
Mm.
I'm really into IT. I know what it's about, but some business owners thinking, how can I implement and some systems, AI tools, digital tools in my business? It was one mod. Second mod, all about finance, accounting. And this is, as far said, the great example. He just took concept notes and said, okay, let me calculate first. Then leadership, soft skills. We use it every day, family, with friends, at home, work. Again, they told us, get feedback, give feedback, how to use it. So it's like tangible tools. It's not about something, oh my God, about something far, far from you. No, this is real tool which you use every day and
Yeah.
others.
I mean, when you were talking, I was thinking to myself, yeah, the most valuable thing I got from my MBA was that I learned to do accounting. And and a type of accounting that they didn't even teach us. They didn't teach us double entry, but in preparing to get ready to do it, I learned double entry accounting, and that's changed my financial life. And but close second to that, and I predicted this during the course, is growth mindset. And I didn't think about that, as Var was mentioning in an early video. Uh, I didn't put a huge value on the leadership component and the psychological component of these courses. But I think, as we saw in our previous video with Zelensky and Trump, right, it's really one of the most important components, the soft skills, whatever you want to call them, the people skills. But what it really is the ability to negotiate, and more so than that. I mean, some people might have great self-awareness and confidence, but like I realized we take all these assessments during our MBA. So like, I had a very low level of confidence coming in. Well, coming out, I didn't. And I thought I was overperforming and I thought I was an underperformer. Well, that's good to know when you're negotiating with someone, right? Because you don't want to be projecting that, hey, I'm a loser or hey, I'm not competent. You need to be projecting the actual level of skill that you have, and the degree definitely gives you that, forces you to confront in these little teams. I think all MBAs.
Oh, teamwork,
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
teaming.
essential, right?
This
oh
was
yeah.
Yeah.
great.
It
It
forces
was
you to confront
pain. It was a
yourself.
pain, but it was
Yeah.
great. Yes. But
I
we
should say,
improve. We improved. Sorry, but I see that on the first mod, second mod, different team, different people, different countries, industries, and it was hard, but then better, better, and better. Maybe because they told us how to manage it.
Yeah.
So on the fifth model or sixth, it was easy. First day, I know my team, send, hey, please choose the options where we can set the team weekly meetings. This is the contract. This is the so it was fast, and we already know how to communicate, even with 4 different time zones. We know how to manage it. But on the first, second mod, I don't think so. So my experience, I improved with team with each mod.
Yeah, I don't think this podcast would be happening without the teamwork component of the MBA, and that's a huge part of it. And it forces you to like confront yourself, discover yourself, and then also learn how to influence others because you don't want to end up doing all the work on the team, but right, so it forces you to how to get other people to come along, that some
right.
people are
Delegate.
challenging, right? Yeah, delegate and divide and conquer, and different personalities have different respond differently to different types of leadership and different types of modalities, and you have to calibrate and adjust to those, just like the real world. And I use it every day now.
Yep.
I think it's interesting because Boston University pioneered this and this global type of footprint for running a program, which might have seemed economically the smart thing to do. Let's get some more money, but that's not what really it was. And I remember one of my teammates was in a war zone in the Sudan. He was getting bombed.
Guillaume.
Yeah.
Guillaume. And Guillaume was trying to do his homework, and he's saying, "Well, I have to sneak a back road." I mean, Olena's no different, right?
Yeah.
I was with Guillaume on the 0 and first mod.
Wow.
Yes.
At the same boat.
And then you also get to see, I mean, there came a point where I was really angry and my leadership skills were tested because I'm not generally patient. Plus I'm an entrepreneur, but having compassion for somebody who's getting bombed. And he didn't do his reading. And I'm like, the guy's getting bombed. You know what? Take it easy for a second.
Yeah.
But also staying task oriented. Like there was a deadline. The work needed to be done. It's going to get done. And I can't show up to my meeting saying we didn't get it done because one of our teammates was getting bombed. You had till 11:59 to submit, not 12, 11:59, and that was it. And it took a whole other level of compassion, but staying on course to deliver great work. And it was hard work. I got to say, it was the moments I just had enough, but it battle tested me. I'm good. I'm good. I can do this. No problem.
Was it worth it?
Oh my God, I loved it. I loved it and didn't like it, but I loved it. Awesome. Awesome
It's
program.
like broccoli. It's like, I'm gonna thank myself later.
Yeah, so there's 2 components, doing the MBA and then doing it in this really different way. And each of them produced different results. I thought this was an extraordinary type of experience. It was great.
Please consider subscribing below.
Thank you for being with us. Please leave your comments, feedback, what you think about us, and see you in the next podcast. Bye.